Meeting will come to order, please. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual meeting notice was sent to the press, the Down Beach Current, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, on the municipal website, filed in the office of the municipal clerk. Would you please take a second, turn off all cell phone electronic equipment as we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Johanna, call the roll, please.
Mayor Becker.
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo.
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg.
I'm here.
Seeing as there's no items listed for discussion, we'll go right to department head reports. Ed, why don't we start with you?
Okay, the road program is essentially complete. There's some punch list items to be done. We're hoping to have the contractor in as soon as tomorrow, if not next week, to patch the repair that was done back off of Harbor Lane. The Thai School drainage line, there's a pre-construction meeting tomorrow morning, and the contractor will begin on Monday. Let's see, the road program, let me just go through. Okay, we have the Gladstone Avenue water tank exterior painting advertised. The project was bid on the 15th, and its bid openings are scheduled for the 27th. That work would then take place probably sometime in October after the season, and would involve localized cleaning, solvent power washing of the tank, localized tool, hand and power tool cleaning of any rusted areas, and then rolling the paint. The Washington Avenue storm sewer outfall, that is complete. The valve was put back on yesterday. It's 95% complete. There's still some securing that needs to be done. The Lagoon Drive sanitary sewer repair, I spoke to both of the homeowners adjacent to that, and everything looks good so far. I've been monitoring it. I told them we would keep an eye on it for at least 6 months to see if there's any issues. City Hall is moving along at a lovely pace. The old City Hall on Washington Avenue. The emergency generators, the auto dialer was installed. They have to reprogram the message. And South Jersey Gas work continues throughout the summer, trying to get all the residents connected, all the services replaced. And that's pretty much it for now. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you very much, Ed. Frank?
There was a question about the streetscape, about the watering of the flowers and the trees and stuff. It's been very hot out, but we do water those flowers and trees every day, 7 days a week. We've been working hard on the beaches. They're in great shape. We have a lot of beach sand that's still building up. We have 3 breaks down there every day, and we're keeping up with the maintenance there. I noticed that Madison and Amherst Avenue, where the construction company was there, and the condition of the street is not in good shape after they left. So if anybody has time, I would take a ride by there and look at it, because there's some heavy-duty tracks in the street from their excavator, and there's also marks from their dumpsters still in the street. Okay, so I double-checked it today, and it's a pretty big area. Our water and sewer department, the past 2 weeks, we fixed 3 water leaks. We installed a new water and sewer service on Madison and Winchester. We also had a dig up on Nassau Avenue, and we repaired a sewer main on Madison and Pacific. We're going to have a very busy weekend this weekend. It's going to be very hot, but we're well manned. Thank you.
Frank, Mayor, I just wanted to acknowledge, Frank, I think that since the 4th of July, the beaches have looked great in terms of litter, in terms of cleanup. There's been a really, really good effort, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And you know I agree with that, frankly. You've worked real hard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief?
Things have been very busy, Mayor, with the fire department and beach patrol, but things are going well. Short story, yesterday, for the second time in 2 weeks, our on-duty crew was training down at the Bayside, and a woman came up and said that her nephew was lost on a jet ski. So we launched our craft and found him and transported him back. Actually, the thing had died. We had to tow it in also. But just wanted to let you know that. Thank you.
Good job, Tony. Lisa?
The only thing I want to mention is that the tax bills came in today, and Linda will be working on getting them mailed out probably by Tuesday of next week. Okay? That's it.
Thank you very much. Chief Wolfson?
In response to the residents from Adams Avenue last week, I've handed out a small packet to everybody. Basically, the first page shows that I'm not out of my mind that there is, in fact, a truck route in the city of Margate, but we cannot, under the current ordinance, we cannot prevent trucks from traversing any street to make deliveries, which these vehicles do. The second page, you'll see, we did a 10-day study using our electronic capture devices, and if you take a look at the first one, it's the unit block North Adams. It went from 7/8 to 7/18, so it's a 10-day study. Unbelievably, there were 6,267 cars that traversed that one block. However, we didn't have any speeds above 40 miles an hour, and I just want to clarify something. 72.7% of the vehicles were under 20, actually it's more than that, I should say it's probably almost 80% of the vehicles were under 20 miles an hour. And out of that 6,267, only 19 vehicles exceeded, went from 31 to 40 miles an hour. So as you can see, it's my professional opinion, we do not have an issue with speeding on that street, contrary to popular belief of the residents, which directly relates to the trucks. If there's not a speeding issue, there can't be a truck issue. So I just bring that to your attention in response. I did take offense that, I wasn't on my game. I think I'm on my game most of the time, and I can show you the documentation. The data we collected proves that. So do with what you wish. Other than that, everything's great.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Deeney?
Pretty hard to follow the chief, but I do sit next to him, so that's good. You have a resolution, following up on what Lisa said, you have a resolution on the agenda to which we've been doing for the last X number of years now, because the way the cycle flows for this county and every county is that the tax rates are not struck until it's too late to print the tax bills. It's too late to get them out in time for the August 1st collection. So the resolution on the agenda would extend the due date for taxes, and I just want to point that out to you, and obviously recommend that you do that so that we can send the taxes out with the correct information on Tuesday. The more important item perhaps is I received notification from the school superintendent, and I've asked him to put it in writing in a more formalized way. He's indicated to me that at the last Board of Education meeting that the Board of Education adopted a resolution to request that the Board of School Estimates meet and with the request to authorize the sum of $400,000 plus any soft costs for the purpose of replacing 11 rooftop units at the Thai school, which would be, I guess, heating and air conditioning, air circulation units. They're going to send, because I asked them a more formal letter to the mayor, and copies to the clerk and myself so I can get it distributed to you, and they're looking for a meeting in September. So just bring it to your attention that that will come before you. And I do have a response from Lisa, because I asked her about the procedure, and she indicated, if I may, Lisa, that the project would first need approval of the Board of School Estimates. Once approved, the city would have to prepare a bond ordinance to authorize those improvements. The 5% down payment is not required. However, the soft costs will have to be added to the principal amount, which the request is $400,000. So I would imagine we will set up that meeting sometime in September if you agree to do so.
Anything else, Rich?
That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Abbott, have you anything today?
Not too much, Mayor, but one good piece of information. You'll recall that we had requested Senator Whalen's assistance on the shellfish habitat law proposed legislation, which has now been introduced as a bill in the New Jersey Senate to relax the shellfish habitat regulations, which essentially have blocked much of the dredging, not only in Margate, but all over the state. For instance, our own municipal pier at Washington Avenue, we've been essentially denied ed because that's called shellfish habitat, even though it's also considered unfit for human consumption, the clams that are there. It would also benefit if it becomes law the area adjacent to the log cabin in Fulton Avenue. So some good news. Now we really have to get out there and push the other legislators to make this a law. And hopefully some of these environmental groups will allow common sense to rule and allow this law to become in effect so that we have a better shot at getting our dredging needs done. That's about it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Scott. Johanna?
All's well in the clerk's office.
Roger?
Thank you, Mayor. Planning Board meeting next Thursday night. 4 items on the docket. Getting a lot of zoning complaints recently about people not complying with zoning, so I just want to reinforce that the zoning office is here to help people. We're not out to cause problems. So if you have any issues, just give me a call, or we're here to help. Thank you.
Maureen?
Nope, everything's good in the court.
Thank you. John, you have anything?
Yes, Mayor, I want to touch on 2 things. Just to follow up on what Roger McLaren just stated, I want to just tell the public and the commissioners and everybody here how much I appreciate the work Roger does. And you start to learn about a person after you work with them for a period of time. And I really appreciate the fact that he tries to work with our residents, knocks on doors where there's issues, whether it's a fence issue on a property line between neighbors. Roger goes there and tries to come up with a compromise rather than going through a process where we make people unhappy. And I recently saw an email where the 2 neighbors that were fighting over a fence on their property line ended up coming together with Roger's input as to what the best way to solve the problem was, and the neighbors admitted that they wanted to be more neighborly as they moved forward. So that's Margate, and I really appreciate the job you do, and I appreciate the fact that you work with the people, and people have to recognize the fact is we're there to help. Let's do things the right way, and we'll get the job accomplished, and everybody can be happy, and we can move on. With that said, I want to compliment the chief on his report, and I sort of knew the numbers were going to pull in because every place that I get complaints, and I asked the chief to post our electronic speed signs, when the chief hands me the report, which he's always happy to do because he knows what our traffic, and the chief did say one thing to me one time. When you're sitting on your porch and you're watching cars go by in the front of your house, it always appears that they're traveling faster because you're sitting still. And that makes sense. But when you actually apply it and really look at it, that number from 11 miles an hour to 20 miles an hour is 75 or 80% of the situation. And look, people do speed. And you know what? When they get caught, they get caught. But if they don't, there's not much you can do about it. You have to be there to witness it. So I hope we have some of the residents at our 5 o'clock meeting that we can hand this to them. Is it up on the...
I have copies, I'll place.
All right, thank you, and thank you for your work, Chief. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, John. All right.
Nothing to report, Mike.
Nor do I. At this point, we will open to public comment. 3 minutes. Right, yeah.
School 22 West Drive. Where's our technician, engineer, and
There we go. Sewell, put the clock back, Mayor. I want a fair 3 minutes.
Go ahead.
John?
I'll give you the extra 15 seconds.
All right.
And I'll take them away. So it's
That would be par for the course, Mayor. Sewell, 22 West Drive. The city engineer mentioned the pace at City Hall. Could it really be defined as a snail's pace? This is like the never-ending story. And while you're at it, while you're spending $1 gazillion to repair this mess over there, I certainly once again urge that the building be bathed in the evening in ultraviolet light, that the dehumidifiers run 24/7, and that the mayor shouldn't be so penny-wise, and the AC should run as well to dehumidify. Because we just don't need repetitive mold remediation. It's not cheap, and it should be addressed. Is it addressed with UV dehumidifiers?
addressed with mold-resistant materials.
Oh, mold resistant, that's like water resistant, a crock of malarkey. But Mr. Deeney, you're not off the hook. On this resolution 138 that you referred to, for as far as the grace period, the 10th of August is already within the grace period. So are you trying to say that there's 10 days following that August 10th? What's the story?
Whatever the resolution says, John.
Well, it's open to interpretation. That's why I'm asking you. If I knew, I would answer it.
The CFO will answer that
Yes.
with assistance if needed from the attorney.
Stop the clock while the CFO talks, Mayor.
She can't make up your 15 seconds, John.
Stop the clock, because I have something additional to say before I depart. Yes?
The extended due date is that there will not be an additional 10 days grace after that.
Well, how can this be any different than the 10-day grace from August 1st? You tell me. You already...
That's two questions.
Listen,
There's only
you
response.
listen to me.
That's
You already have to August 10th with the existing grace period. This is no grace period.
Under the
This is no
law, I-
extension of time to
I
pay.
believe you have to allow 20 days from the date the bills are mailed, at least 20 days. So the tax collector is aware of the requirements, and that's the date she established. But in
Wait a
years
minute, she's not
past,
finished, Mayor. Keep your hands off that, please.
it's always been that. That's the extended date, so it's more than reasonable.
You mean the 10th, you consider a reasonable date when it's already allowed as a grace period? That's no extension, I'm sorry.
You'll have to contact the state of New
It's August
Jersey.
25th, as I read it, does it not, John?
It goes to August 25th? Is that official, on the record?
It's on the paper.
Okay, very good. We got to the 25th to pay those taxes.
Not the 10th.
The 25th.
John, I started the clock.
Okay, last but not least, I wish to commend the police chief for maintaining his cool 2 weeks ago. It would have been impossible for me not to jump up and utilize some compressed paper on those individuals. They were way out of line, they were derisive and demeaning, and I just hope that they never have to come to the chief for some discretionary consideration. because I wouldn't give them a drop of it. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Chief, you rank high, no?
Yeah, back on my game.
Steve Giesecke, 112 North Lancaster Avenue. Listening to Chief Tabasso's talk on the rescue over in the water, I was wondering if we have a drone or considering getting a drone.
As of today, Steve, we do not have one, and we were not considering getting one.
After we get the helicopter.
Yeah, I just thought for a quick search of the bay, or even along the shore, it might be a good idea. So, just having to think about that.
Thank you, Steve. Any other public comment? Is there a motion to close public comment?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Johanna?
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeus?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes,
Is there a motion to adjourn this work?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeus?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Thank you. We will reconvene at 5 o'clock sharp.